Hello, it's Colette here from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here to give you this week's energy forecast. It's been a crazy week. It started off crazy for me already, and hence why I'm not doing a live. Life seems to be bursting in flames, and I'm pushed and pulled in many different ways. And I bet you're feeling it too. Well, it's all to do with the energy that's happening this week, and we are all still feeling the Aries new moon that happened on the 17th. We're still in that vacuum. So today, as we move forward in the week, we can really feel that we're in between this new moon and this full moon that's coming in. It's a Scorpio full moon on the May the 1st. So we've got this window with the new moon behind us and the full moon on the horizon. So in this quarter, we're still carrying this huge energy of change, and we're so feeling it. I feel deep movement in my psyche, and there's just some kind of still some illusions, some shadowy places in me that still need to work out why, where, and when, and how I'm moving forward and where I'm moving to, if it's in a new energy rather than the old. So some of us might really be feeling that. Am I still in an old energy? Like, what is the new energy that I'm trying to go to? What does that feel like? What does that involve? So let me tell you, Taurus Uranus move into Gemini on April the 25th. So that makes this like a really big, deep threshold week. We've also got Venus in Taurus through to the 23rd of April. Then it shifts in, obviously, to the Gemini. And then we've got Venus meeting Uranus on April the 23rd. And this is why we're feeling such a huge current of the feminine in the field. We can't escape this week. And I think not just this week, there is, if we can look at it through a psycho-spiritual lens of male and female energy, and that's not sexist. Remember, we are made up of male and female energy. What we're seeing is this absolute deep masculine energy in the field, the animus and the war, and how our inner animuses are represented through the figureheads that we've got in power. So we can't be just saying, oh, this person's bad. It's all coming from the collective field, and it's coming from us. It's showing us where we have dictators in us, where we have people that are not best interested or invested in others. It's all trying to show us something about our own masculine energy. And I think that goes towards all this horrific, diabolical violence we're seeing against the feminine. And that has much to do with the relational field within the feminine and masculine psyche, our own wounds and pains, the deep love that we didn't get from our mother or our father. Them two fields are in pain. And so these children, which is all of us, are born with these feminine and masculine energies that are also in wound and pain and struggles. And that's how this is manifesting in our world. And I think as a woman, it's becoming increasingly disturbing at the amount of violence we're seeing against women. And this is definitely in the field of Venus meeting Uranus, and really trying to get us to feel some ways in which we need to hold more power, more sovereignty, more discernment in the way that we relate, actually. And I shared a post on this. I don't want to victim blame here, because men's behaviors towards the violence that we're seeing against women is very much own personal wounding and pains. But we have to understand that we are sometimes in situations that we know we should not be in. Dead marriages, loveless marriages, we stay for security or financial reasons, whatever the reasons are. So this is all distorted until the feminine and masculine energy decides to be in a field of love, and that takes a lot of inner self-work. So let's get to that at the end, but I want to go full steam ahead as we are fully charged in this new window that Aries new moon opened up in us, that is bringing this place of courage, this place of initiation, and this decisive movement in us. It's the kind of energy that wants to really act rather than hesitate. So we might be feeling like hot and urgent, and I'm really feeling this at the moment, but I've not got enough clarity or structure for my next move forward. So I hate this hesitation, But I know that in this next cycle, the decisive field that I'm going to move into needs to be clearly laid out so that I don't end up in any of the old cycles that I was in before. So the momentum is building and life is really asking for response for us. So it might feel that you've got some decisions that you need to make and you do not want to be irresponsible making them. You need to be acutely accurate, actually, and really be feeling these decisions, allowing me to move into a new version of me. So we're starting something new and we're stopping something that has been damaging to us. We need to look at that. So Aries is about these new beginnings, but it's also about really clean cut endings. So all the things that have been draining your life force, all the things that have been taking from you, all the things that haven't really nurtured you, fueled you, took you to your next place, you've got to let them go. And that is the way you are in habitual habits, relationships, patterns, delays, betrayals, old fears, all of those things. You've got to start to really know what they are and know that if you move forward into that field, it's going to be super challenging. So know what has been holding you back, know what has been taking from you, know what has not been good for you. And it will be hard for many of you to admit that maybe the environment you're in isn't your best growth in that environment. I mean, I know that I'm Taurus. I hold on to everything, but holding on to what isn't growing you and an environment that isn't nourishing you, an environment that has shown you that you can't grow in, and you keep trying to stay in that environment, then you will perish. So be really aware, try to be very kind of ruthless with yourself and honest with yourself about which relationship, environment, home, country, village, whatever, what's holding you back, workplace. So think about that. This isn't passive energy at all. This is not time for you to say, well, I'm just not comfortable to move. It's the time to know you need to move. So it also asks you, who are you now? Like the Aries concentration is really pushing your inner identity to the service. It's really asking you to know who you are. What are you serving? When are you going to stop waiting for permission to do what you're here to do? And I keep saying this week on week, know your archetype. Know your archetype. I'll put the link in the bottom if you want to do some work around that. I've also been really feeling to support women. I've had a lot of women reach out with regards to creating courses. And obviously, not only in my spiritual work do I create courses, but I was a curriculum, creator in education and, schemes of work for schools and secondary education. So it's something I'm really trained in. So I'm feeling to do a course on creating a curriculum for women wanting to step into the bodies of work. So look out for that. If you're not on my mailing list, get on, because I'll be sending details about that soon. So yeah, stepping into who you are, thinking about where you shrink and an environment where you can grow. Where you've been for the past 9 years, believe me, is not conducive to your growth. It really is time to change the container. And that way, the more honest version of you can actually emerge and show itself. You're trying to show up as more authentic, and you need the container and the environment and the place. And I can't reiterate this enough, that will allow you to expand, or that allows you to gather some momentum and some practice in not making yourself small, in speaking out, in standing up, in showing up. That is what is being asked of you right now. And that clarity is going to come through action. So often the truth appears before we act, we speak, we choose, or we test. And some things just reveal as we move into them. What does a new space demand of you? How do you not shrink? How do you not be absorbed by fear? How do you move into something as a new version of yourself? And this is a super powerful point for those of us who have felt very stuck. We get time now to stop overthinking and to start moving, to sense into feeling, because movement itself will become the revelation that you need to step into the next part of your life. We can't ignore that there's this feminine fire running through the collective at the minute. And it's a really rageous fire. I work with people that, someone said the other week, my psychologist said, when are you going to get to your anger? And it's true. The feminine anger is really important, and we've been asked to suppress that over many, many years. So as we get to this sacred rage that lives in us, that you can only get to if you've really honored that the anger in you is a destructive and a creative force as well, that this feminine fueled fire, which is raging through Venus in Taurus, is strengthening the feminine, really, really strengthening her through her embodiment for her desire, worth, sense, truth, sensuality, grounded value, life force, eros, libido, all of that. That is what is running through this Venus in Taurus. That's why I'm currently running the 13 Roses Sacred Sexuality course again, because this is paramount for women in this climate, owning their sacred sexualness. And then secondly, why tonight I'll be also hosting a class on the goddess, the Venus, talking about what it is to be Venus energy, Aphrodite energy, embodied in love and beauty and self-direction and your own eros, and being rid of old patriarchal structures that have kept this sexuality down within us as women. So I'll pop the link under for this as well. But if you're on my newsletter, you get all of these links and all of the postings about what I'm teaching and bringing into the collective field as the energy in the astrology and in our collective unconscious and consciousness asks me to bring in to assist with what's happening in the world. So yeah, this feminine energy, all of you must be feeling it, the rage, the anger, the disbelief about what's going on that we're seeing in the world. And this is the fuel for your jet that will move the feminine like a force to cut through all that's going on now. So all you women who are on my team of being a change and wanting to be a change and having a bigger role in life, then this is the rocket fuel you need, actually, because the fire has roots here with Aries. It's a strong current of feminine self-value. And there is a desire with substance. There is instinct with our own embodiment. And it can really feel like we're being pushed towards a more authentic, more living, more desiring, more burning, more sensual life in our body and in our relationships. Oh, it's a lot of fire. And if you don't feel the fire, then you must ask yourself, how do I connect to this inner fire in me? Excuse me, the fire won't let you sit still. It will burn your feet. The fire won't let you sit in the same environments that you've been sat in for years, which is why I am absolutely adamant on teaching sacred sexuality at this time, because it's the very thing that burns away your ties with patriarchy that you don't even realize you're in. It's like when I was reading about those women with those men watching those sites, I was thinking, how the hell did these women end up with these kinds of men? Like, what in that relational field? How could you not be in knowledge of that deep shadow with the masculine you're relating with? It's because of the unknown knowledge within ourselves of our own shadow, and what holds us back and what keeps us in that marriage is a container that's a very toxic container. So this is where erotic energy burns through those toxic containers and leads you to a life that's more fulfilled, more met, and more driven by connection and authenticity. So this is the part I really wanted to get to, because not only is all this feminine force coming through, but Venus is meeting Uranus, and this is an absolute key theme, because this gives us relational insight. So no wonder this has been exposed in the collective about the abuse. We had Emile Picot, the woman in France whose husband was raping and drugging her. She wrote a book about it. It really is, as we come into this Venus in Uranus, we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more distortions that we're holding in our relationships with our friends, our lovers, whoever it is, that will bring shock of truth around not only relationships with people, but with love, with money, with our own value, with our beauty, with our self-worth and our body, how we are relating to that. It will bring up the shocking truth of that. Many women are in hatred of their bodies. We can see that with the cosmetic industry, that many women are disconnected from their bodies or suppressing their sacred energy. This Venus in Uranus is going to bring this up, yes. And it will be quite disturbing. I really feel that could be quite shocking from us, because it's very electric, but it's very liberating, and it is destabilizing all at once. So like, it destabilizes us, it brings an electricity into the field, and it liberates us. It's how we get liberated as women. We don't just sit in our armchairs and the world's great. We're liberated through demonstration, through rebellion. We're liberated through all of these things as they rush through the body. So it really is good, this phase, Uranus and Taurus meeting, because the feminine truth is really asking for more authenticity in all aspects of its life: money, love, relationships, beauty, self-worth, and the body. This can only bring new dynamics to yourself. So yeah, your relationships are going to be really focused upon not just the romantic ones, but your friends, collaborations, family, communications. So think about your life and how your relationships have changed. How have they changed? In what way have they changed? And then you can see where you've outgrown maybe a dynamic. I was saying to somebody the other day that our relationship with our parents should change. They should evolve. We shouldn't be behaving with our parents as we were when we were 10, or when we were 20, or when we were 30, when we were 40, when we were 50. That relationship should evolve. It should look different. Our language to each other and behavior will be different as we step into sovereignty and, yeah, more wisdom, I suppose. And that happens with friendships. It happens in work. You cannot be the same in any relationship, whether that's work with the environment you live in, or with the people that you go to, your chess club with, or whatever it is you're doing. Relationships need to evolve. Ones need to be let go of that served a purpose, that are no longer in the same field as you're in. So it's not that we don't need to be personal. We just need to understand that some relations have served what they had to serve, and they go because the energy is moving us in different ways. So have a think about the relationships that need changing, what ones need more truth, more boundaries, more honesty, which ones aren't freeing, because Venus in Uranus wants to sharpen relationships for you. So yeah, Uranus has been shaking, Taurus for years, and now we're coming into Uranus with Taurus, where the last rides of it are going to be bringing, all of what has been going on for us in this period. It really is coming to that crucible of an end that will really start to make us look back and say, wow, those last 7 years, what the hell was going on with my relationship with money? What the hell was going on with the relationship with whatever, like I've just shared? So before Uranus moves into Gemini, which will be the 25th, it's the 20th today, so this week, there is a final look at all of that. You get to look at all of that. What did the disruption reveal for me over these last 7 years? What did it free you from? And which version of yourself is now ready to go? Which is ready to go? You're ready to move and leave out of that. So this is a huge pivotal point that asks us to bring our authenticity over security. Get out of systems that make you feel secure, but do not allow your growth. That could be, again, marriage, work, environment, whatever. And as we build up to this full moon, the energy is going to be building and deeper emotional truths will reveal themselves on Beltane on May the 1st. So yeah, this is all going to be deep ignition work. Think about, I'll put some questions under this video, like what am I ready to begin and what am I ready to stop? They're the two most important questions at this point. So really think about this. It is a threshold moment between ignition and embodiment. And the Aries field and the Venus field and the Uranus field is really trying to say, okay, let's move out of this old way. And that's going to have you needing to be courageous and moving. So, wow, big stuff, big energies, but magnificent time to be alive. It really is conscious time to say, I'm not sleepwalking through life anymore. I'm no longer looking at life as though it's just happening to me. That I'm realizing that there's places I'm stuck, that I'm realizing there's things that I can change and patterns I can come out of so that my life looks better. That's all good, yeah? So I'll add the links under here. Don't forget, this week I've got the free 13 Roses Sacred Sexuality class. So you register on the Zoom link before, and you will spend an hour with me talking about what the 13 roses are in a woman's body, how we heal them, how we activate them, how they can change our life completely. And I will guide you through the 13 roses free in this call. And hopefully many more of you are going to sign up to the 13 Roses. I am super excited to be guiding such powerful women through the depth of their body and their sacred sexualness. So take care, have a great week, get moving, close down all of those things that are making you small, and go, 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 go. Bye for now.